As some of you may know, I have been playing with green eyeshadow. If you want to see what palettes I've been playing with and see the one that I'm adding to my collection today, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène and welcome back, or if it's your first time, welcome to HMM Makeup or Makeup. Yes, I'm talking green eyeshadow today. A lot about green eyeshadow, and I do want to reveal, as I said, a new addition to my collection. But the intro to it might surprise you. So hang tight for that, but let's talk about the palettes that I do have that have come to mind based on this search for green looks despite having green eyes, and that's been going pretty well so far. I won't belabor the point on that. I'm just going to say I thought that green eyeshadow was a problematic combo with green eyes, but I am schooling myself on that assumption. So one of the palettes that I was always super excited about for the variety, it makes me think of Halloween, is this Morphe 35M palette. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yep, 35M. It's been a while. And this is one of the palettes that I want to play with because if you look at the top two rows, it is very obviously a green vibe for 40% of the palette. So that is a good option for me to play around with. And I'm not too worried about messing about in this palette because there's quite a bit of product, and I have barely made a whole lot of dent into this palette, so it should be a good source of inspiration. Another palette that I find inspiring, but that doesn't have that many greens, but it does have a green vibe, is the Impulsive palette by Melt. And mostly it's this trio that inspires me. The yellow up top can be useful as well. But when it comes to the green vibe, this is really where my mind goes for this palette. And I'm thinking, you could argue as well that Drunk Text has a little bit of green in it, but really this is where I'm going with this palette. And more on Melt coming up. Now for a few indie brands, I do have a couple of palettes, one from Colored Rain and one from Juvia's Place that does give me the green vibes, and I do have a couple coming from Colored Rain as well beyond this one, just for the green theme as well. And this Tribe palette has a few decent options for a green look down here, and so I'm sure that I'm going to dip into this one for a few looks. It definitely came to mind right away, mostly because of this color down here, definitely. And Colored Rain, Safari Rain palette is one that definitely has greens. They're very wearable greens, but she deserves an honorable mention because the center row is beautiful as a complement for a green look. This is an obvious, and this one is kind of a borderline between taupe and olive green, so that's great. So this center row is beautiful to work with. And I'm also pulled to a palette that I really haven't used, and this is the Aurora palette from BH Cosmetics, and this column is going to come into play as well, I'm sure. So I'm just showing you the inspiration, the basis for the inspiration of going into my collection and looking at the potential for green looks that I can create, despite the fact that green has never been a focus for how to build out my collection, based on the fact that I thought it would clash. And I'm finding out I'm probably near 100% wrong, if not 100%. And one that was just an obvious palette that would come to mind is one of my absolute favorite in my collection. You would have to pry this out of my cold dead hands. I love this palette to bits, and it has some beautiful greens in it. Electric is an obvious one. Look at this one. Look at this one. This is another favorite. And these two. So these two for deepening. I've used this one for eyeliner. I love this green. I love this electric look. Is there anything I'm missing? Not really. Destiny and Electric are lovely. Untamed and Axis. Out of the two, I prefer Untamed, but I can understand why that's in this palette. I do absolutely love the color scheme in this palette, and I have no doubt that you'll see a couple of green looks at least using this palette, if not entirely using nothing but this palette. And another Anastasia palette that just came out, actually. So I showed you an old one, and now I'm showing you a new one. And you've seen it on this channel if you've been watching the videos. And it is this Nouveau palette that has come out recently. And there are some beautiful green shadows in here. I mean, this one is gorgeous. This one is definitely an assist. And this one over here as well. Just a beautiful, beautiful color. And there, the peacock has green tendencies there as well. I think the curation of Nouveau, which when I first saw it, I thought, oh my gosh, they did an amazing job. And I truly believe they did an amazing job at curating this palette. And also the fact that top to bottom, that's a look, 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 that's a look. If you are intimidated by eyeshadow, this type of palette where you've got two and done for a look, I think is a fantastic choice from ABH. And I commend any eyeshadow manufacturer who makes it so easy to combine colors to make a look for those of us who are not as comfortable and secure in selecting colors that will go together. I think that comes with practice, and a palette like this that is super, super user-friendly is well done. Well done, ABH. I'm in love with this palette. And now I want to talk about a palette that's green, but that's not all that green. You have seen a swatches video and you've seen a first impressions video of this palette. If you have not seen those, they are on the channel, very easy to find. And it has 3 shadows that have a green tone. It's not a huge amount of it that is green, but there are 3 that fit the bill. And I think that they're, well, No Further Questions is more toward the gold, but it still would work with a green look. I'm really partial to this Hulk Out. It's a lime green. It looks like lime green in the pan, but it's actually lime green with a gold shift. It's a gorgeous color, and I'm very happy that it's the biggest pan in the whole palette, because that's probably the one I'm going to go after the most. A close second will be this combo right here, because I know I love it. Just from previous palettes that have that kind of a hue. But obviously the She-Hulk is going to be a participant in this set of green looks that I am working towards. And one other palette that I have shown on this channel already is this Wild Greens palette from Urban Decay. So I have 2 from Urban Decay. I have the one from She-Hulk movie, and now this Wild Greens, and it does have a number of greens on the bottom row that I will be able to dip into, so that is a significant palette. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 palettes that I have shown you. And I have another one. This one is a little bit of an announcement and a PSA at the same time. I need to show you this palette. So this palette is the latest Melt palette. And I have another palette that is a mini. Let me show you the other one. Okay, so here is the other one. I just want to show you for context. This is a palette that I have swatched on this channel. I'll put the link to the swatches video right there. And you will see that it is 10 eyeshadows in a mini format. And they say fun sized. So it says basically that it's a mini palette. And I got it for $12 Canadian, was regular price $24. So I'm showing you this. It's not a green palette. Why am I doing this? Well, I'll explain in just a second. The latest Melt palette was just released this past week. And look at the size. This is how big it is. It just juts out by this much. So it's flush, juts out by this much, and it's the same height. Once you take the box away, it's the same height. Okay, so this is my latest green palette that just completes the complement, and I have the green palettes that I want to play with and keep going on this green theme that I have. And it was of interest to me for a couple of reasons, and one of them is because I'm a Virgo, and it is a Virgo-leaning palette. It's a Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. Not a main reason why I got it, by the way, but it's just an extra fit. So I told you that the rosé, and there's a yellow one that I got as well that was on sale for $12, but the regular price was $24. And so I'm very happy to have received the two, the yellow and the pink like that for $12. But $24 I can sort of understand, though I find that price expensive. Well, this palette was shown on the Sephora site. No mention anywhere that it's a mini palette, and it was on for $50 Canadian. So somewhere high 30s US. It's a mini. It's a mini. It is no bigger than the Rose Party. It is tiny, tiny pans. It is a mini, and it goes for $50 Canadian. This, to me, is false advertising if you're not going to tell people that it is a mini palette. So this is a PSA because I don't think that this is okay by any stretch of the imagination, and a lot of people who picked it up, like I did, from the app a day early as a rouge, I don't think a lot of people will be all that happy with what Melt did. If you're going to do a mini palette, say it's a mini palette. It did not say it anywhere on the main page for the palette, and at $50, you do not expect a miniature palette. Melt does not usually do miniature palettes. That's why I never even thought that it could possibly be a miniature palette. It's rude, and and it's insulting. Rude and insulting. Kind of almost doubling down on this, but it really is. It's not right, in my opinion. Am I going to keep it? I'm going to keep it for the project. And I'm also going to keep it because I wanted to make this video, and I don't think it's okay to do a video and return stuff. I just feel icky about that. That's just me. You do you if you're a YouTuber and you do that. I'm no judgment. I'm just saying what I'm comfortable with. So yeah, I have not touched it yet. And I did not touch it because I decided I was going to wait until this video to decide what I was going to do with it, if I was going to do a video with it or not. And I am going to use this palette in the whole greens experiment because I think that the green and the yellow and gold will do some really nice looks, and I can also pair it with this one as well and the taupe. But it really irked me that it felt like a bait and switch, where you think you're getting a full-size palette and you're getting a mini, and no mini should be worth more than $25. Like, this is not worth 50 bucks, not by any stretch of the imagination. So that's how I'm feeling about that, and I look forward to playing with all the palettes I showed you and creating a bunch of green looks. And I hope, I hope folks don't get too tired of it. I think I'm going to do video application once in a while, but probably show you pictures of different looks that I created. And if you want me to recreate a look that I've done, I can probably choose to do that on camera later on. So that's my green experiment and my rant. Let me know what you think of this whole deal, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I look forward to creating some looks. Let me know what you think. As always, I love to hear from you. And with that, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. But for now, take care.